did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not a particularly religious family in either direction. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way.
Things just took a wild turn. The political world and the gossip world have officially collided, and standing right in the middle of the impact is none other than Vice President JD Vance. Social media has been exploding with unverified but rapidly spreading rumors suggesting something major is happening in JD's personal life, something that could seriously shake the carefully crafted public image he's built. Everything sparked after that now viral hug with Erika Kirk. Since then, it's been non-stop speculation. Whispers are circulating online that JD Vance might actually be considering distancing himself from his wife, Usha. And the internet is losing its mind. It doesn't end there. A reported DC insider claimed that JD and Usha are going through a difficult period behind closed doors. Add the viral hug to JD's recent moment where he appeared to dismiss his wife's faith on live TV, and suddenly the public is questioning whether there's something much deeper happening here, which leads to the question everyone is glued to right now. Are we witnessing the early signs of a JD Vance divorce? Or is this just another political figure being swallowed by the rumor machine? Either way, it's messy, and it's developing fast. But here's the thing. These aren't looking like random internet rumors anymore. The situation feels like a slow-motion political and emotional unraveling happening in real time. And at the center of it all is JD Vance himself. If somehow you've missed how this started,
it's crazy. Usha has to smile and laugh and celebrate.
It began when JD and Erika Kirk were photographed, sharing what looked like an unusually warm embrace at a Turning Point USA event in Mississippi. Before JD took the stage, Erika gave an emotional introduction where she praised her husband, Charlie Kirk, saying no one could ever replace him. But then she added something that stopped the room cold. She said she saw similar qualities in JD Vance. That single line lit the internet on fire. Then came the hug, the moment that launched the chaos. This wasn't a polite political hug or a friendly greeting. It lingered. It was close. Erika's hand slid through JD's hair, a move that for a public figure is extremely personal and instantly crossed into scandal territory. The internet erupted. Body language analysts, podcast hosts, Twitter threads, TikTok sleuths, everyone started breaking down the footage frame by frame like evidence from a crime scene. The general conclusion: that hug didn't look innocent. It looked emotional, maybe even intimate, and just when the shock was settling, JD added fuel to the fire during a public discussion. He stated that he hopes his wife, Usha, who is Hindu, will eventually embrace Christianity. The comment hit like a lightning strike. It went viral instantly, sparking heated discussions about faith, respect, and boundaries.
And he's going to do this by using Paulina privilege. He is going to either push or somehow convince Usha Vance to file for divorce. And he'll use that to take it to the church to get an annulment, because neither of them were baptized at the time of their marriage. And he will say that he tried to convert her and that it was just too hostile at home. Then his only marriage in the eyes of God will be towards Erika Kirk.
Critics didn't hold back. They called JD's remarks inconsiderate and deeply personal, especially when stacked on top of the now infamous hug. Many asked how he could publicly speak about wanting his wife to change her religion while the internet was already speculating about his connection to another woman. JD explained that when he and Usha met, neither of them were deeply religious. He said he converted to Catholicism in 2019 and that they are raising their children Catholic. He added that Usha sometimes attends Mass with him and that he simply hopes she finds the same meaning he does in the church. But the explanation didn't calm anything down. To many, it sounded less like a thoughtful clarification and more like a defense after emotional damage had already been done. The public perception began shifting fast, and then the online conversation took another leap. Twitter threads, viral TikToks, Reddit deep dives, all claiming something similar, that the marriage might be unraveling. To a lot of people watching, the hug and the comments about Usha's faith weren't two separate incidents. They were connected, and they hinted at something personal happening behind the scenes. Then, just when it seemed like things couldn't escalate any further, a new voice entered the conversation. New York Times columnist Shannon Watt dropped commentary that sent shockwaves across every corner of the internet. And that's where things get even more intense.
Now everybody's talking about how JD Vance and Erika Kirk are getting a little too comfortable and that Usha's relationship might be in danger. But I'm mostly seeing people like, oh, Usha, leave your man, like that sort of stuff. I'm worried. And listen, I know she's not a good person. I obviously know that. But I'm worried, like woman to woman, that they're gonna try to pull a Princess Diana on her. Like she's gonna like die this tragic, mysterious death. But we're all gonna know. We're all gonna know that it was just for him to get to Erika. Like JD Vance has already said that Usha doesn't have the same like religious ideals as he does, and that man's a Christian nationalist.
Then came the moment that sent the internet into full meltdown. Shannon Watt took to X and posted a cryptic, unsettling message that read, "Vance announces divorce. Marries Charlie Kirk's widow by the end of 2026. Within hours, the post exploded. It racked up more than 10 million views and thousands of comments. Some people claimed she was just saying what others already suspected, pointing to the emotional tension between JD Vance and Erika Kirk during that infamous hug. Others pushed back, accusing the media and the internet of turning politics into a reality show and spreading rumors for attention. But by then, it didn't matter. Once a rumor takes off at that scale, it gains its own momentum and becomes almost impossible to contain. In the middle of all the chaos, JD Vance finally spoke out. In a careful and polished statement, he called Usha the greatest blessing in my life and said their marriage was strong and committed. He tried to separate his earlier comments about faith from the scandal online, explaining that they came from a place of personal belief. And as for the hug that sparked everything, JD brushed it off and said it was simply a warm moment between friends at a student event. He accused the media of twisting something innocent into drama. For a moment, it seemed like things might calm down, but then the fire got hotter.
You know who else is a Christian nationalist? Erika Kirk. And what racist America really wants to see right now is two people of full Aryan blood together. They need their white prince and princess to come together and rule the kingdom as one. Because once Trump is gone, because we know he doesn't have much time left, once Trump is gone and JD Vance is gonna be the one to be in power, you really think they want eyeliner guy who's been memed the fuck out, who f***s couches, who has an Indian wife?
Jen Psaki, the former White House press secretary, jumped into the discussion and sent the situation into another spiral. During an episode of the I've Had It podcast, she suggested that JD and Usha's marriage might actually be in serious trouble, hinting that the couple could be heading toward divorce. She didn't provide evidence, but her tone said everything. She even joked about wondering whether Usha needed help, telling her to blink 4 times if she did. It was bold, mocking, and it immediately went viral. Even people who normally ignore politics suddenly had opinions. Then came JD and Usha's Halloween appearance, and things got even more intense. JD chose to dress as a meme version of himself, a joke the internet originally used to make fun of him, as if he were trying to show he could laugh along. But nobody was focused on JD. All eyes were on Usha.
You think they're gonna want that? No, they're not gonna allow that. They're not gonna want that because we're talking about white supremacy here. Him being with Erika would save his image because she is like the princess right now. They are going to want 2 Christian nationalists. So Usha babe, you might need to run. You might need to flee the country. And I know that I sound like a conspiracy theorist and I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist, but if I'm f***ing right about this, one person at least owes me $5.
While everyone else arrived in bright and creative costumes, Usha showed up wearing just a plain, everyday outfit. No costume, no smile. She looked exhausted, distant, and withdrawn.
The internet noticed instantly, and the memes came fast. She's dressed as a second lady who is completely over it. This time, the joke didn't feel funny.
It felt real. Whispers grew louder. People began claiming Usha has been struggling since stepping away from her law career and into political life, a world she never really wanted. Some insiders suggested she has been enduring the role, not embracing it. Then came the rumored dinner incident. Witnesses claimed Usha snapped at JD in front of donors and the room went silent. The tension was obvious and the whispers became louder. If this is what's happening in public, what's happening in private? And that's when the internet crossed a disturbing line. Some online users began posting dark predictions about JD moving on. People made unsettling jokes about Usha disappearing, and others referenced Erika's own tragic past in ways that made many people uncomfortable. At that point, it became clear. This wasn't just gossip anymore. This had turned into something darker, heavier, and deeply personal.
Message is for Usha Vance. Usha, call JD back home. Call him up. Be like, hey, Vivek needs to be tucked in. Get your ass back in the house. Erika Kirk's hands don't need to be all up in his hair. Get your tiny little man back.
Erika Kirk had stayed silent through most of the chaos, at least until now. She finally broke that silence on national television. During a recent Fox News interview at Turning Point USA headquarters, Erika addressed the rumors directly, and what she said had everyone on edge.
The interview was expected to calm things down, but instead,
It made everything spiral even faster. According to sources close to the production, before Erika even stepped out of the studio, her phone was already blowing up. Members of JD Vance's communications team were reportedly caught completely off guard by her decision to speak publicly. One insider claimed that JD's senior advisor was unhappy with the way Erika smiled through questions that mentioned JD by name. That same night, the team met for what was described as an emergency optics review to figure out how the interview might affect the vice president's already fragile public image. Meanwhile, Usha Vance was reportedly furious. She didn't watch the interview live, but saw the clips trending within the hour. One source close to the family claimed that Usha is tired of being humiliated online and has quietly begun speaking with a private legal advisor. Whether that's preparation for divorce, personal protection, or simply gathering information, no one knows yet. But one thing is clear: she isn't staying silent anymore. By the next morning, screenshots of Erika's poised expression and careful wording were everywhere. She never denied anything. Instead, she navigated around the rumors, emphasizing her deep respect for JD Vance's leadership. That tone didn't sound political. It sounded personal. Commentators immediately noticed. One media analyst said, "She sounded like she was describing a man she believes in, not just a colleague." Inside Turning Point USA, things were reportedly tense. Staffers said a memo went out advising employees to avoid commenting on private matters involving leadership families. Some even noticed senior executives quietly unfollowing both JD and Erika on social media, as if trying to create distance before the scandal pulled the organization in deeper. On social media, however, the speculation doubled. Some users pointed out that the timing of Erika's interview lined up with the launch of a new Turning Point campaign called Faith Forward, which focuses on women in leadership. This led to theories that the interview was part of a coordinated image strategy. Meanwhile, JD's office released another statement calling the rumors offensive distractions meant to undermine the vice president's service. But statements like that only made the public dig harder. Old footage of JD and Usha resurfaced online, with viewers analyzing her facial expressions and body language, searching for signs of strain. Behind the scenes, donors reportedly grew worried. Some began discussing backup plans, saying they didn't want to invest in a political figure surrounded by soap opera-style drama. Others speculated that Erika's rising visibility may be shifting influence within certain conservative media circles. Then came the photograph. Usha was seen alone at a cafe in Georgetown. No security detail, no wedding ring, just her notebook and her phone. The image hit tabloids instantly. Some people praised her composure. Others said the photo looked like a woman preparing to walk away. Erika, on the other hand, went silent after the interview. No posts, no events, no public appearances. Some believe she's being advised to lay low. Others say she's letting the public conversation build on its own. But what truly sparked deeper theories was a leaked email allegedly exchanged between Turning Point executives. The message referred to a containment strategy for the Vance-Kirk narrative. That phrase alone caused speculation to explode, and then came the moment everyone is still talking about. Under Fox News studio lights, Erika sat straight and steady. Her voice trembled at first, then strengthened. She spoke about the cameras that had followed her during her husband Charlie's death, during her grief, and during every moment since. The room felt heavy. Then she leaned in and said something that made the entire internet freeze. "We deserve to have cameras in there. Why not be transparent? There's nothing to hide. I've seen what the case is built on. Let everyone see what true evil is." Her confidence was sharp, almost defiant, and it suggested she knew more than she was saying. People immediately connected this to the now viral photograph taken 2 days after Charlie Kirk's death. The image showed Erika holding Usha's hand as they walked beside the casket, with JD and Usha escorting it from Air Force 2. At that time, the photo symbolized unity. Now, the internet has turned it into something else entirely, reinterpreting it in light of the recent drama. Then there was the hug. The emotional, slow, deeply meaningful hug caught on camera. In today's viral world, perception is everything. Whether that moment was compassion, grief, or the beginning of something more, the internet has already made up its mind. JD and Usha still appear together publicly, but people say the smiles look tighter now, more controlled. That's politics, keeping the image alive, even when everything behind the curtain may be collapsing. As for Erika, her silence is now louder than any interview. This story is nowhere near done. So now the question is yours. Was that hug simply comfort and grief? Or the start of something bigger hiding in plain sight? Drop your thoughts below, and stay ready, because the next twist is definitely coming.